Oh jeez, that's not good. Oh, he did not like me. Let's do this.
All of them.
I'm gonna take care of this back here real quick. So me and Twitch just started World of Warcraft, and we decided to go with Classic because this was actually not something that was part of our childhoods growing up, which is an odd thing to say considering it was one of the defining games of our generation. Now, to be honest, I actually did play a little bit. I played a little bit of free-to-play World of Warcraft when I was in junior high, I believe. I started in Cataclysm. I only got to a little bit below level 20, and then, of course, you have to pay for things. For me, it was a lack of friends and others who had interest in the game. Not to mention, it was very grindy, and I was engaged in a lot of other activities back then. But when Classic came out, I took a little bit of heed and notice, and then, you know, it's been quite a few years afterwards, I finally convinced Twitch, it's like, let's sit down and live through some of the childhood that we never got to experience. He was hesitant at first. It's an old game, you know, there's a lot of stereotypes about the game, but decided, alright, well, let's give it a shot. And holy cow. Just absolutely blown away. And now I have to try to get him off the game. Which is funny, you've got all these other things that we're really interested in, and it's been very difficult, personally, we find, to find good games nowadays. A lot of the games that are coming out are kind of disappointments. They'll have a lot of fun for a short period of time, but they really drag off. And despite the age of this game in specific, looking at Classic, it plays very well. There's a lot of engaging content, it's incredibly fun, and we're really actually sad that we missed out on this period of time, but very glad that it's been brought back, that we can experience it as it is. Now, a little bit back, actually around when Classic WoW came out, I did play again with my wife. I did get to around level 30, I think, as a wizard. But again, you know, it's a very demanding game, and at that point I was in college, I was working, believe it or not, I was actually working 70 hours a week just to pay for college and not get into student debt. I did not continue that for very long. It was unsustainable because I was doing full-time college at the same time, but it was something that I was able to get into a little bit, play a little bit on the weekends, and I can see that there's a huge difference between the new version of the game and the old version of the game. So how did we get here? How did we get to a place where these classic games are so much more fun than the new games coming out? And I'm not talking about World of Warcraft Classic versus World of Warcraft, I'm talking about just games in general. Now, you could argue nostalgia, but for me and Twitch, there is no nostalgia here. Sure, we recently played through the Halo campaign, and we really enjoyed the older games, CE, Reach, 3, and 2, so much more than we enjoyed Infinite. But, I mean, again, we don't have that nostalgia for World of Warcraft, and yet we're just enjoying this old, wonderful game. And we didn't have an answer for this video. This is just a very short video to express how we feel, how our journey's going, and the joy that we're having in such a classic game that we honestly missed out on. Feels like we're living that part of childhood, and perhaps that's it for us. It's living that part of childhood that we had heard about but never got to experience. Shaman first.
I personally believe there's something more to it though, because, I mean, to be honest, the game has a lot of mechanics that I really enjoy despite being really old. I can look past the graphics, and I thought graphics were going to be the most important thing, and the improvement in graphics was going to make games so much better when I was a kid. That doesn't tend to be true. I mean, looking at old games such as Half-Life, such as Team Fortress, just looking at all of the old classics that I've played,
I've actually gone back and enjoyed a few of them because the games coming out today just haven't interested me, or they don't last for very long. I don't necessarily think it's the microtransactions. I don't necessarily think it's the developers not producing beautiful gameplay or graphics. I think there's a little bit more to it. And I hope we can find that magic again, capture it, bring it back.